Good evening, and welcome to the November 17th, 2021 legislative session of the Penfield Town Board. I'll officially call this meeting to order, and I'll ask those in the auditorium to please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And at this time, I'd ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Draw. Here. Cole.
Here.
LaFountain.
Present.
Moore.
Here.
Akadin is absent.
Great. Thank you. We'll begin this evening with communications and announcements. And I will start. I'd like to recognize a young lady that is here with us with her family, Madeline Mary Cotter. And I'd like to read this certificate of recognition and then present this to Mary. This is an appreciation for your exceptional leadership and service. We celebrate your outstanding spirit and commitment to others in Penfield and beyond. Your energy and leadership in academics, STEM education, and athletics is inspiring. Achievement with all of these activities, along with your dedication to collecting and sending gently used footwear to children in Africa, through your management of rerun shoes since middle school, make you a shining example for all in our community here in Penfield. We count you among Penfield's finest citizens and wish you all the best in all your future endeavors. And this is signed by myself on behalf of all of the board and is dated this evening. And I know that you have done some great things and are a very private person, but I would love to be joined with you here at this table, and would love to hear a little bit about where you're thinking about going after school, and I'll come up and present this certificate of recognition and right here at this table, if you would, and to say thank you for everything that you have done, and also recognize your parents that are here in the audience. But if you would like to say a few words, we'd love to have you share a little bit of information with us.
Thank you so much for this award. I really appreciate it. And my plans for after I graduate high school is definitely go to college. I'm applying to colleges right now. I applied to a bunch before November 1st, so hopefully I'll hear back soon. And I definitely want to major in something STEM related, math, science. I especially like computer science, and one of the major things I did in high school was share my love of computer science with young people, especially young girls, because that's an underrepresented demographic in computer science. So that's really important to me, and I would definitely want to pursue that further in college.
Great. And I don't want to jinx anything, but if you had that perfect choice, what college, what university might you choose?
My reach college right now is Princeton. I applied, and my sister currently goes there, so it'd be really nice to join her there. Great.
Have some family ties there, and and what have you. So we will send nothing but positive vibes from our board to you, that you get that letter in the mail and accept it at Princeton, and we'll be optimistic that you'll hear from them in a positive way.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And again, on behalf of the entire town board and on behalf of the community of Penfield, thank you for everything that you have done. You have done so many things in your young life. I can only imagine what's going to happen as you get into college, start taking that next step, continuing your education, and then looking to get out in the working world and working in your community that you settle in. It'd always be nice to be in Penfield, but recognize that you may have some other interests, but whatever community that you settle in, I know you will be part of that community to help that community better than what it is today. So congratulations. Best wishes on the rest of your school year.
Thank you.
And best wishes in the 22-23 college year.
Yes, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. We would be happy to do that. Absolutely. And if you like, and everyone is okay, we could maybe drop the mask.
Oh, yeah, she's vaccinated, so.
If you want to do that, we can
That'd be,
do that.
that'd be really
And
nice.
there you go.
The smiles.
All right, that's it. Congratulations, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you
Best
very
wishes.
much. Oh,
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
All right. As a father of daughters and a grandfather of granddaughters, it does my heart good to see such strong women that we have in our community and some of the great things that they're doing. So keep up the great work and best wishes. All right, we will continue on with our communications and announcements, and I'll recognize the town clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The Hanukkah holiday arrives early this year, beginning Sunday, November 28th at sundown. Please join us at Shuffleburger Park in the Four Corners of Penfield on Monday, November 29th at 5:30 p.m. for a menorah lighting ceremony. Donuts and chocolate gelt and special Hanukkah gifts for children and teens will be provided. I look forward to seeing everyone there.
All right, great, thank you. Councilperson Draw.
No announcements, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you.
All right. Councilperson Moore?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, if I can just for a couple minutes kind of not go with the normal communications that we would, but I wanted to take an opportunity for a minute or two to just dispel some rumors and some misinformation on social media regarding community choice aggregation, or CCA. You know, unfortunately, as we know, with social media, rumors can spread without any accountability or verification of facts. And so I just wanted to spend a minute or two here, just kind of go over what I've seen and try to get some clarification to the residents on what we know as of today. First, one of the rumors that I saw was the town is profiting from the CCA. And that is absolutely untrue. The town is not generating any revenue from CCA, not 1 cent. The other rumor that I just wanted to clarify was the town is collecting a 3% commission like the city of Rochester. And again, that is absolutely untrue. The town is not collecting any commission from the CCA initiative. The city adds a gross receipt tax, and the Penfield CCA does not. Another one, the CCA has a $100 initiation fee. There is no initiation fee at all. It is absolutely untrue. And then, the fact that there is a little bit of information out there about being forced into and forced to use a CCA without any choices or options. And again, that's not true. And as a homeowner, a homeowner has a choice to join in a bulk rate buying initiative aimed to lower utility costs, or opt out and maintain the status quo as you've had in the past. Ultimately, it's your choice to decide what's best for you and your family. Over the last 2 years, the town has been discussing all elements of a CCA and what the town can do to help control rising utility costs for homeowners. Many residents all across the town have expressed their desire for the town to help provide the bulk buying capacity that they otherwise would not get on their own. Today we see, and we all see it, gas prices increasing. Gas is $1 more today than it was a year ago, and nearly at a 7-year high, and really no end in sight. Grocery prices are up. I see that when I go shopping with my wife. Home improvement costs are up. We see that with wood and lumber. Clothing costs are up. And as I found out, even pet food is more expensive than it once was. Crude oil is expected to be near $100 a barrel moving into 2022. And obviously, as we've seen recently in media reports, inflation overall is up between 5.4% and 6.2% depending on the data source that reports that. In recent news articles, and one dated November 11th, the National Grid told its customers to expect a 36% increase in heating prices due to a spike in natural gas prices. I just grabbed a couple articles, and there are plenty of articles online that talk about how costs are going to go up for heating your home this winter moving into 2022. Here's an AP News article dated October 21. The very first sentence says, "Get ready to pay sharply higher bills for heating this winter, along with seemingly everything else. With prices surging worldwide on heating oil, natural gas, and other fuels, the U.S. government said Wednesday, this was back in October, it expects households to see their heating bills jump as much as 54% compared to last winter." Another article that I thought was interesting was an NPR article back in October of 2021. And the headline on the article reads, "U.S. households will pay more to heat their homes this winter." U.S. households can expect to spend more money to heat their homes this winter compared to last year, federal officials announced. A report released Wednesday by the Energy Information Administration predicts home heating costs will go up because fuel prices are rising and fuel demands have increased over the previous winter. All residential customers should expect to pay more for heat, but officials say the type of fuel you use will determine how much extra you'll have to shell out. And then just one more article that I wanted to add from CNN, a CNN News article dated November 7th, 2021, titled, "Americans Should Expect to Pay Higher Heating Costs This Winter," Gramhold says. Jennifer Gramhold is the U.S. Energy Secretary. In that article, the article leads, very first sentence, "It's going to happen, Energy Secretary, on rising heat costs. Americans should expect to pay higher costs to heat their home this winter," Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said Sunday, "as a result of high gas prices caused by the coronavirus pandemic. This is going to happen. It will be more expensive this year than last year," she is quoted. So I just wanted to include a couple articles there of what we may be seeing moving forward with increased utility costs. The CCA that the town initiative has going today locks in a rate of 5.7 cents per kilowatt hour for a 2-year term. Currently, the most recent rate without a CCA is 6.8 cents per kilowatt hour as of mid-October. So as you can see right now, the CCA rate of 5.7 cents is cheaper than the status quo or being on your own or testing the utility market at 6.8 cents. The CCA is an option for residents. It is an option for residents. If you want to be a part of a bulk buying group using 50% green energy, then you don't need to do anything. If you choose to test the utility market on your own or keep your status quo, which you can do, it's perfectly fine to do that. You have that choice and you have that option. Then you simply just opt out, and there's 3 ways that you can opt out. One is taking the letter that was sent to you over the last couple days, and in the letter there's a little, I call it a pamphlet, but a little postcard. This is the one that I received, that all you need to do is sign your name, date it, put it in the enclosed envelope, postage is paid, and drop it off in your mailbox or at a post office, and you're good to go and you've opted out. The other way that you can opt out is by calling a phone number and doing it over the phone, which is area code 833-942-3023. Or you can go to PenfieldCCA.com and go to the opt-out link and do it online or via tablet or phone if you prefer. Ultimately, you have a choice. You have a choice to determine what you want to do and what is best for your family by staying in the CCA and taking advantage of a bulk rate purchasing agreement or choosing not to and going on your own and testing the market in the future. And either one is up to you. It's your choice to do it. Another option to consider that the town included, which I'm, with your leadership, Mr. Supervisor, I think is a great thing for Penfield residents, is that you can opt out at any time. So if your own rate ends up being lower than the CC rate moving into 2022, you can leave. You can opt out of the program and go at it on your own, just like you have been over the last, years or so. Or if you opt out now because you're just not, you're just not convinced this is the right option for you, you can do that. That's absolutely fine. And then if you find that being on your own and testing the market, the utility rates are higher than 5.7. Right now it's 6.8, or as of mid-October it was 6.8, and they continue to be higher, you have the choice to come back into the program if you decide to do that. And so you do have an option down the road to opt out if you want, or opt back in, depending on what's best for you and your family. Again, that's a choice. It's your choice to do that. So if you'd like to learn more information about the CCA program, and CCA programs all over the state and all over the country as they continue to grow, and more municipalities are taking advantage of bulk buying when it comes to utilities, you can go to PenfieldCCA.com, or you can learn a lot about it online as more and more communities are offering their residents this bulk buying choice. So, Mr. Supervisor, I appreciate the time. I know that was a little different than what our normal communications are, but I just wanted to take the time and opportunity to address some of the misinformation out there on social media and at least try to add some clarity to what is happening and what the options are and the choices that residents in Penfield have when it comes to CCA and bulk buying advantages to residents. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
No, I have no announcements.
All right, very good. I have just one that I would like to mention. This is from RG&E and NYSEG. They put this out about a week ago and sent it out as a press release, but I thought it was good to just highlight and it kind of a springboard off in what Mr. Moore has indicated. What RG&E and NYSEG is indicating is that they want to actively communicate with their customers now and through the winter to encourage them to enroll in budget billing programs through the winter months, which helps spread the total energy cost evenly over the specific period of time, which is typically a year. If anyone is having difficulty paying their bills, they will review the potential of assistance programs and which ones that they might qualify. And they also recommend to take steps to improve energy efficiency and reduce energy bills. And they've highlighted 3 or 4 of those. The first one is to make sure that you inspect your heating system and have your furnace cleaned so that it is running at peak performance. They're encouraging insulate and seal your home if you've got any open areas. If you have storm windows and your storm windows aren't all the way down or engaged, to make sure that that is taken care of. If you have an opportunity to upgrade any appliances, to make sure that you look for the Energy Star. And then the last item they have is turn down your temperature, especially when no one is home. And what RG&E is indicating that each degree lowered can save an average of 3% on your overall heating bill. So they want to make sure people are safe. They want to make sure people are comfortable. But if you have that opportunity during the day, if folks are working and not at home, there's an opportunity to do that. And of course, they encourage, if you have any questions or need additional information and resources, you can log on at rge.com, or you can contact their 800 number at 1-800-743-2110. So a message from RG&E. Okay, we'll move on to the next item on our agenda. That's public participation. You can do that one of three ways. If you're here in the auditorium, you can address the board on any topic. You can call in at 340-8771, or you can log on at penfield.org, and we will have the calls and emails right here. So I'll recognize our clerk. Has anyone signed up to speak at the public participation?
No one has signed up.
All right. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak? Rose, please come forward. We ask that you sit at one of these two tables, whatever you're comfortable with. And as you're well aware, we tape all of these for those that are viewing at home. So welcome. And for the record, if you would.
Okay, my name is Rose Hanscom. I live at 145 Anytrell in West Webster. First, I want to thank the town for all the environmental efforts you've put forth. As a conservative Republican who cares about the environment a lot, when I see the solar panels down Jackson Road, I'm so proud of this town. I think this town has done wonderful things and for the environment, and I really appreciate that. I also want to thank Tony for all your work. I know you're retiring, and so I really wanted to say thank you for everything you've done for us. And Andy, I know you're retiring from the board, and I want to thank you because together we've been through this Baytown thing, and this is what I'm addressing tonight for a decade now. Seems like a decade I've addressed this issue, and you guys have listened to me throughout this whole thing, and that's what I'm going to address again tonight. So since December of 2012, and this is going back, I did some homework over the weekend, and this is my date. Since December of 2012, this board approved Baytown Street of Shops and the rezoning of over 14 acres to make possible the construction of the Super Walmart. The town board at that time was hopeful that their approvals would bring significant improvements to the empty storefronts in Baytown Plaza. But now, fast forward to 2021, there are still over 20 storefronts vacant in the plaza. So I ask now, as I did then, did the town really need to take the residential property and convert it to commercial development at the expense of diverse residential living options envisioned by the 2010 Town of Penfield's comprehensive plan? And wasn't there enough vacant properties then, as there are now, in the original Baytown Plaza to reconstruct the existing commercial footprint to accommodate the Super Walmart without further impinging on the residents of West Penfield? Yes, impinging in terms of traffic and noise, which has continued for a decade. Okay, so to mitigate the noise generated from the redevelopment of Baytown and the construction of Super Walmart, property maintenance agreements were developed and signed by the DeMarco Group to address many things, including the sweeping of the parking lots and refuge removal. Now, in terms of sweeping of the parking lots, these parking lots were not to be swept between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. Monday through Saturday, and not to be swept on Sunday through 11 p.m. and 8:30 a.m. I was thinking it was 8 a.m. It's actually 8:30 a.m. And so all my complaints over the years are beyond, because they had started prior to 8, and I've always been addressing 8. Well, it's actually 8:30. They're not supposed to start before 8:30 on Sunday. And refuge removal was prohibited between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. But for the past 8 years or more, I've notified the town of violations regarding both the sweeping of the parking lots and that refuge removal occurs weekly before I get up for work, and which is 8:30 or 5:30 a.m. I'm up between 5:15, 5:30 every morning, and on Tuesday mornings, like clockwork, bang, there goes the refuge removal. It doesn't stop. And I haven't complained about that so much because it's one time bang, whew, away they go, right? Not so with the parking lot. I have records of notifying the town on July 29, 2013, August 1st, 2013, June 22nd, 2016, August of 2016, September of 2016, March of 2017. These are all notifications to the town. It goes on. I have 5, 6 more dates here. And yet, I hear the vacuum trucks and the garbage trucks outside of the approved times. So I ask you, why is there a property maintenance agreement when we who are most effective have absolutely no assurances that it will be honored by the DeMarco Group? Now, when I call and or email, there is immediate action taken. I don't fault the town for taking that action. They are very responsive to me. The DeMarco Group makes assurances that under no circumstances will this happen again, but it continues month after month, year after year, and it's like, here we go again. So I don't fault the town. I don't even know if I default the DeMarco Group, but somebody has to take responsibility for the violations, and I don't know how to stop them. I don't know what to do. So I was hopeful in April of this year when I received an email from the town saying that if this happens, a violation notice would be sent to the DeMarco Group, and that the DeMarco Group had to go before a judge and tell them why they continue to violate the property maintenance agreement. This was in October, where there was in April, that I was given that assurance by the town. And I would be more than happy to testify before this judge. But that didn't happen, because in October, a violation again was, the vacuum truck was there again. I went and talked to the vacuum truck driver. It's always a different group. It's never the same man that I talk to. It is a gentleman. Never the same man. I remind him about the property maintenance agreement. They look at me like I'm like the deer in headlights. They don't get it. They don't understand. It's like they heard it for the first time, and I don't understand this. But this past October, and I can't remember the exact date, let's see if I wrote it down here. It was October 17th. I again notified the town. At that time, the code enforcement officer said that he would notify his supervisor and that I would be notified of the course of action. But 2.5 weeks later, I heard nothing. So I wrote again, wondering about the course of action. And I was told an inspection would be happening to observe the violation in progress. But it's sporadic. So how are they going to observe a violation in progress? God love the code enforcement officer, and maybe that's what you got to do now to see it. You got to see it for yourself to believe me. I don't know. God bless her, but of course she didn't see anything. She didn't hear anything. Nothing happened. It's sporadic. It's not every single Sunday. It's not every single day. So they're not happening on schedule. So how are you going to catch them? And why do you have to catch them? I'm catching them for you. I'm telling you this stuff. And I don't want to live for another 8 years. This has been 8 years of this stuff. I don't want to live here again, 8, 10, 12, till I die. Do I have to live with this? If I live in this town, I have to live with these violations and telling you all this? So there has to be a solution here. This is what I'm asking. Please, Tony, before you leave, Andy, before you leave, we have to figure this out, because I can't continue to... I hate getting up on a Sunday morning, getting out of my bed, the only day I can sleep, to go talk to this person, or to go talk to a police officer who's sitting in the parking lot and say, would you talk to this person, and deal with this. So I need somebody to call when it happens. If you really need to know when it happens, I need a phone number. I need somebody to call on a Sunday morning and wake them up and tell you, hey, there's a problem here. Or I can do a time-stamp video for you, if that's what you'll take, to recognize that this is a problem, to cite the DeMarco Group for violations, or make me the code enforcement officer of the area. I'll do the job, I don't know, deputize me. I don't care what you do. I'll be happy to swear a stack of Bibles. I'm telling you the truth. I don't know what to do anymore. And so I'm really asking that before you leave, please help me. I'm asking the last thing I'm going to ask you about Baytown. You won't have to hear from me again.
Not a problem. Rose, I would recognize that there may be a different driver or operator each time. Is it the same company?
No.
Okay, so it's not, so not only is it not the same person, it's not the same company?
Correct.
Got it, okay. And, I mean, is the company new every time, or these last, I know it's kind of sporadic, but the times that you've been there, each time, has it been a new or
In the
different?
beginning, it was a company called Spezio.
Spezio.
Spezio, is that how you say it?
Spezio. Mhm.
And it's not that company. It's not that company anymore. And I forgot to write down the name of it, but it changes. I have to say it's about 3 different companies that I've noticed there.
Okay.
And they're either at the Super Walmart, or they're at the other
main
Baytown Plaza, or they're, I have to find them. I have to, I go and I see the truck, and there you are. It's like catching a fly.
And I'm sure they're shopping price, hence why, they're not that consistent company. I'm guessing they're probably shopping price.
For their...
So, you'll do it for X dollars. Michael will do it for a little bit cheaper, this next 6 months or a year. Tony might do it a little bit cheaper that following year. So my guess is they're just shopping pure price. But
right. And every time that I call, as I say, the town will notify the DeMarco Group. You have worked trying to work with them, and
right.
I know the town is doing their best, but it's not good enough. I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to stop it. And so I'm asking you, please. I don't know what to do.
So I get together with Mr. Horowitz on a regular basis, and we can have that as one of our discussion points about, what are some of the next steps that we can take, either, from a code and getting, folks, sometimes getting folks in court, even with minor fines, tends to help the situation. And, give us an opportunity to chat about that and see what we might be able to do under the current code, or is there something we need to do to beef up, or do we need to, bring the DeMarcos back and have a broader conversation to say, hey, this is an ongoing problem. It's part of the approval process, and you seem to not be able to hit the mark.
Yeah, and yet they say they will. I mean, I've gotten an email from them, under no circumstances will this happen again.
Right.
So,
and I have as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I try to believe people on their word, because people's word is so important to me. So I believe it, and then I get so disappointed again. It's like, oh, here we go again.
Okay.
But thank you.
Yep,
I
absolutely.
really appreciate it. And again, thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to miss you guys. Both
All
of
right.
you?
Thank you. We're not going far. We're still here in
but-
Penfield.
yeah.
We're doing different things.
Yeah,
Doing
you
different
are.
things, working with some of our great volunteer organizations that are around the community, and so
Yeah.
I'll speak for myself anyways, but knowing Mr. Moore and his family, I'm not sure he's moving too far too fast for the
going
next.
nowhere.
I was going to say, so you'll still see us around.
Okay. Thank you again
Thank
for
you,
everything,
Rose.
guys.
Thanks, Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for coming in. All right, I'll ask anyone else in the auditorium that would like to address the board on any matter. All right, seeing none, let me toggle between my emails and the phone calls, and I do not have anything more. There is a second opportunity at the end of the agenda to address the board on any matter.
Mr.
And
Supervisor.
again, you'll be able to do that in the auditorium, online, or the phone number at 340-8771. With that, we'll move on to additions and deletions. Board, any additions or deletions to tonight's meeting?
Nope.
All right, seeing none. We do have the October 6th, 2021 minutes before us, and I would ask the board if they'd make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll move those minutes, Mr. Supervisor.
Second.
Been moved by Councilperson Draw, seconded by Councilperson Cole. I'll ask any discussion, questions, comments on those minutes. Seeing none, a roll call vote of approval, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Okay, petitions. Since our last meeting, has the board, town attorney, town clerk received any petitions? Okay, then we will begin resolutions by function, starting with law and finance, please.
Okay, excuse me one second, I think I'm a little... Approval of issuance of a special permit to allow the change in ownership and operatorship of the 11 studio units within a Penfield landmark at 2567 Browncroft Boulevard.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a special permit pursuant to Chapter 250-6.2-I of the code to allow new ownership and operatorship of 11 studio units within the Penfield landmark at 2567 Browncroft Boulevard, located in the R120 zoning district. Whereas the granting approval for the special permit to convert the three-family residence into 11 studio units within the town landmark at 2567 Browncroft Boulevard on April 3rd, 2019, Condition 1 of Resolution 19T-104. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Penfield held a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall at 3100 Atlantic Avenue on October 20th, 2021, 7 p.m. on said date to consider said application and to hear all persons interested in the question of the issuance of the special use permit. Now therefore be it resolved that the applicant's request for a special permit to allow new ownership and operatorship of the 11 studio units within the Penfield landmark at 2567 Browncroft Boulevard is hereby granted subject to the following conditions. For the record, Mr. Supervisor, there are 8 conditions. I would just like to read Condition 5 as discussed at the last work session meeting, that the Town Board has granted the applicant's request for a special permit subject to him submitting a copy of the lease for this site that requires renters to lease rooms for a minimum of 7 days. Said lease shall be submitted to the town prior to the applicant's assuming ownership and operatorship of the property. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Discussion board.
Mr.
Yes.
Supervisor, if I may, I'd like to explain my vote, please. In 2017, the current owner received and granted that landmark status for this property from the Historical Preservation Board. For these 11 studio units that we're talking about, they were considered for long-term rental at that time, not for 2-day, 1-day, or even 7-day. That was not in the spirit of the original proposal to grant this. And though Chris, the new owner, I'm very impressed with him. I know you've done your due diligence on this. We had the public hearing, as Mr. Moore mentioned, 2 work sessions you've come to. I appreciate your interest, commitment. However, in good conscience, I cannot vote in favor of this with a 7-day rental agreement in this resolution. So therefore, Mr. Supervisor, Board, I will be voting in the negative on this resolution. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilperson Draw. Other discussion, other comments, Board? All right. Seeing none, a roll call vote, please.
Draw.
No.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
3 ayes, 1 no. Granting a conditional use permit to allow an office and emergency food cupboard at 1771 Penfield Road.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas an application has been received by the Penfield Town Board for the issuance of a conditional use permit pursuant to 250.5-10-D17 of the code to allow an office and emergency food cupboard at 1771 Penfield Road in the Four Corners zoning district. Whereas the Town Board held a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on November 3rd, 2021 at 7 p.m. on said date to consider the application to hear all persons interested in this issuance. Now therefore be it resolved that the applicant's request for a conditional use permit to allow the office and emergency food cupboard is hereby granted subject to the following conditions. For the record, Mr. Supervisor, there are 5 conditions. All are consistent with what we've seen for this type of office use in the Four Corners zoning district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Further discussion, Board? Seeing no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Amendment to Resolution Number 21T-193, authorization for supervisor to sign and submit Justice Court Assistance Program grant application.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas the Town of Penfield Justice Courts wishes to apply for a Justice Court Assistance Program grant to upgrade town justice courts. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of Penfield authorizes Penfield Town Court to apply for a JCAP grant in the 21-22 grant cycle for up to $30,000. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Discussion. So as the board recalls, we did pass a resolution. The amount has not changed. The wording as required by the justice court system, we had to modify the whereas. So that's why the short amendment to keep everyone happy. With that, and seeing no further discussion, I'll ask for a roll call vote of approval.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorizing the acceptance of a donation of 1407 5 Mile Line Road from Carmen M. Bird, tax account number 094-18-1-8.
Moved.
Second.
Whereas Carmen M. Bird has offered to donate to the Town of Penfield the property located at 1407 5 Mile Line Road in memory of her husband, Charles Bird. Whereas the Penfield Town Board is best suited to act as lead agency within the meaning of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQR. Therefore, that subject action is determined to be unlisted action pursuant to the SEQR process, and the Town Board is determined to have acceptance of the donation of the subject property. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Penfield hereby accepts the donation and transfer of property commonly known and described as 1407 5 Mile Line Road, Penfield, New York, from Carmen M. Bird to all requirements as prescribed by the town attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay, we'll be hearing a little bit more about this as we move forward, but I would like to officially thank you, a special thank you to Mrs. Bird for that generous donation. That'll be part of the town's open space and in memory of her husband. And it's a beautiful piece of property. And as I said, there will be a closing that will be designated here coming up. And then we'll have additional information and announcements out to the community on the property. So, seeing no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization to establish a traffic control device on Whalen Road at Baird Road.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Supervisor, at this time, I'd like to amend this resolution to read authorization to establish a traffic control device on Whalen Road at 5 Mile Line Road. There was an incorrect wording in this resolution. So I'd like to move that, please.
Okay. So it's moved. Will the seconder second that amendment?
Second.
All right. Thank you very much. And so what I'd like to do is let's discuss the amendment and vote on that. Then we'll go to the main motion. So any additional comments? As Councilperson Draw indicated, the county had forwarded us a letter, and we had one road over, and so this is a modification. They came back with an amended letter that they emailed us today, and they will be mailing the hard copy to the town clerk so that she has it for her files. And it does just, again, change from Baird to 5 Mile and changes the date from October 29th to November 17th. So seeing no further discussion on that, I'll call the question on the amendment, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes.
All right. And for the main motion, I'll recognize Councilperson Draw.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to move that we authorize, that we I'm sorry, that we deny, do I deny the
Nope.
first one?
All I have to do is just, if
Just
you would
authorize-
just highlight the
The new
resolution.
one. Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
Yep, no, not a problem.
Authorization to establish the traffic control device on Whalen Road at 5 Mile Line Road. So whereas pursuant to the New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law, Section 1651 and 1652A, the Penfield Town Board is given the authority to authorize the establishment of various traffic control devices within the town of Penfield. The town of Penfield has received a request from the Monroe County Department of Transportation in a letter dated 11/17/21 to install a no-turn on red from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on school days eastbound. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the said traffic control device stated in the said letter dated 11/17/21, and be it further resolved that the town clerk will be hereby is directed to sign and return a copy of this resolution, that, as the supervisor said, this letter will be dated 11/17/21 to the Monroe County, from the Monroe County Department of Transportation. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Board discussion on the amended resolution? Seeing none, then we'll call the roll for this resolution, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Amendment to Resolution 21T-209, awarding the contract for janitorial services at the town hall.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that this resolution 21T-209 was adopted on November 3rd, 2021 for the awarding of this contract of the janitorial services at the town hall to the Clark Building Services, and it did not include the correct cost for the contract due to a clerical error. So therefore, be it resolved that the resolution is hereby amended to show the correct cost of the contract to be $20,131.92. Be it further resolved that the correction of the contract cost did not change or impact the bid results or the outcome of either of the janitorial contracts referenced in Resolution 21T-209 or Resolution 21T-210. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion, board. Seeing no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization to appropriate funds for power purchase agreement energy production.
So moved.
Second.
The town of Penfield entered into a power purchase agreement with Solar City on March 28, 2016, and amended it on October 30th, 2017. So whereas Solar City is now part of Tesla and the original contract conditions remain in effect, the solar array located at 1607 Jackson Road was installed by and is to be maintained by Tesla for the duration of this contract period at no cost to the town. And all power generated from the solar array is pushed to the grid, and the town and Tesla are to be compensated for the power generated. And whereas the understanding is that the utility would share these cost savings per the contract with both the town and Tesla. The town has received the full benefit of the power generated to date with no cost savings shared with Tesla. So therefore, be it resolved that the town board approves the appropriation of $275,000 from the unassigned general fund balance as an amendment to the 2021 budget to provide the cost savings due Tesla for the energy production as agreed upon in the power purchase agreement from April 2019 through October 2021. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Discussion?
Some nice savings.
Yes. Seeing no further discussion, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Draw.
Aye.
Cole.
Aye.
LaFountain.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
4 ayes.
All right, board, I'll ask, is there any old business to come before the board this evening? Seeing none. I'll ask, is there any new business to come before the board this evening? Again, seeing none. This is our second opportunity for public participation. Again, you can do that if you're in the audience here at the auditorium. You can log in at penfield.org, or you can call in at 340-8773. I'll pause just for a moment. There is nothing on the screen, but I'll give it just a moment. Again, I want to thank Mr. Moore for helping clear up some of those misnomers that is floating around Facebook. I think the board knows how I feel about Facebook. It's a device and a tool that has its place and its purpose, but it doesn't allow for any verification, and people put things out without all the facts and details. And my only message would be on CCA, whether you're in or out, your choice, as Mr. Moore indicated. I would just direct our residents to the website because that's where the most accurate information is going to be. That's PenfieldCCA.com, PenfieldCCA.com. Please take a look at that, and all of that information and any updates or changes will be on that website, and that's where the most accurate information is. All right, seeing no further...
Mr. Supervisor?
Yes.
I have 3 emails that were requested of me to read into the record.
Okay.
The first one is from Mindy McLaren, dated November 5th. Dear Penfield Supervisors and Town Board, I'm writing out of concern over the mowing of large areas of milkweed and other native plants on the Shadow Pines property. These plants provide critical habitat for the endangered monarch butterfly and other needed pollinators, as well as for birds and other wildlife. The indiscriminate mowing and destruction of this habitat was not the expected outcome of the 2018 vote to save this property from development. The town of Penfield has a legacy of strong environmental stewardship. Projects to promote sustainability that have been undertaken in recent years are more cause for town pride. I believe that the thoughtful preservation of pollinator ecosystems within the Shadow Pines property could be another point of pride. It shows that not only does Penfield care about environmental sustainability and the natural world, but that it cares about future generations of Penfielders as well. An added bonus is that there is no expense to the town to maintain them since these habitats already existed. I'd like to ask that these areas become designated pollinator habitat incorporated into the official plans to be preserved. I'd also like to ask that future mowing and development be done in such a way that it incorporates the biodiversity that naturally occurred there in as many places as possible and not as a last priority. As trees have come down and other large-scale changes to the natural aspects of this property have been made, I worry the initial intent of saving Shadow Pines is being ignored. I also worry that the aspects that make the property noteworthy are being unnecessarily removed. I understand the parts of the Shadow Pines master plan are currently underway. The addition of a pollinator plan would add value and interest to the property as a whole, inviting more visitors to it and by extension to Penfield. If I can be of assistance in determining what such a plan would entail, I'm happy to help. Thank you for your consideration. And again, that's from Mindy McLaren, 5 Mile Line Road. The second one I received from Cindy Harrison, also on November 5th, asking to have this letter read into the public record. I have been so disheartened by the amount of mowing that has taken place at Shadow Pines recently. It was such an amazing pollinator-friendly area, yet all the pollinators and wildlife that would have overwintered there are now completely gone. I understand that there are big plans in the works for this property. I also understand that the property was not purchased to let it grow wild and that we are not likely to change any minds on the development plans. However, to my understanding, the amount of mowing that has recently happened and continues still is way beyond the plans we've seen thus far. I'm writing to ask the future mowing and development be done in such a way that incorporates the biodiversity that naturally occurred there in as many places as possible and not as a last priority. Humans need pollinators and insects to grow our food. The ecosystem needed to support them are already there. No help needed by the town other than to let it be. Grassy fields are not the nature we need. She did send a picture that she took in the summer. I don't know if you can see it, but There it is. It is but a tiny part of the amazing plant life that supported the butterflies, bees, fireflies, birds, other insects, and wildlife that lived there. Milkweed, butterfly weed, goldenrod, and so on. Although any overwintering pollinators are now wiped out. These plants are can still grow back in as many places as we allow it. Some of the areas are more densely populated than others, as seen in the picture, therefore contributing more bang for the buck should they be identified and allowed to grow. I would ask that these areas be dedicated and incorporated into the official plans so that they will be preserved going forward. Humans should have the ability to not have to start over with every area we develop. And then she cites a resource, homegrownnationalpark.org, and for more resources on why biodiversity and pollinator pathways are so important right now, please let Shadow Pines be a role model for the change needed to help fix some of the damage we've caused to the one planet that we have to live on. And again, that's from Cindy Harrison, Parkview Drive. And the last one I received was from Carol Giotto, asking for this to be also read into the public record. First, I would like to thank the town for purchasing the Shadow Pines Golf Course land and turning it into a town park. I walk in the North Park almost every day. I grew up in Penfield, and as a child I played in the fields there with my friends. This summer was especially wonderful to walk there as the park had become a natural butterfly pollinator sanctuary. Every day I would see dozens of butterflies, bees, dragonflies, and other wildlife on my daily walk. It was better than most butterfly trails I have been on. In addition, there would be kids with their parents looking at all the insects and people with binoculars bird watching. My brief walk was a highlight of my day. Then the brush hogging took place. This is the mowing of the non-grass areas, many of which were milkweed gardens, in support of the disc golf course. In one day, I went from seeing dozens of butterflies on my walk to a single butterfly. In addition, over the past month or so, additional brush hogging has taken place in areas that do not appear to be part of the disc course plans or the new plans being discussed for tennis courts, etc. As a result of this mowing and in an effort to educate myself on the plight of butterflies and all pollinators, I came across several organizations whose objectives are to maintain patches of milkweed and other pollinator habitat. Two that stand out are Monarchs in the Rough, .org. This is a program that partners with golf courses to restore pollinator habitat in and out of play areas. They are working to create essential habitat for butterflies and increase awareness of the golf sector's contribution to the Monarch Conservation Challenge. Locust Hill Country Club is listed as participating in this program. Next one is Monarch Way Station Program.org. You can help by creating monarch way stations, monarch habitats in home gardens, at schools, businesses, parks, zoos, nature centers, along roadsides, and on other unused plots of land. Creating a monarch way station could be as simple as adding milkweeds and nectar sources to existing gardens or maintaining natural habitats with milkweeds. No effort is too small to have a positive impact. The town already has a number of parks with manicured lawns and wide open spaces. Why not allow for some of the natural biodiversity in Shadow Pines to come back? The town has looked at the park from an engineering standpoint, but what about taking another look from an environmental perspective and determine if there is a way to maintain and support some of these natural areas rather than indiscriminately brush hogging and mowing everything down. It seems simple to allow some of the milkweed to grow back in support of natural habitat for birds, butterflies, bees, and other insects. There should really be no cost associated with this since the plants are already there. There should also be some level of cost savings from no longer having to continually clear these areas. Thank you for the opportunity to provide input. Again, that was from Carol Giotto.
Okay, thank you. All right, seeing no other business to come before the board this evening, the November 17th, 2021 legislative session of the Penfield Town Board will stand adjourned at 8 p.m. I'd like to thank everyone that participated this evening. I'd like to recognize PCTV for making sure that those residents that cannot attend and want to view these operations and deliberations from home have the ability to do that. And this is the last opportunity before the Thanksgiving holiday. So on behalf of our entire town board, wish all of our residents and their families a very happy Thanksgiving. And as always, please be well and be safe.